Welcome, I'm Cancer the Untamed Oracle, and I'm going to be reading for this week. Now, I do these weekly, but these readings, whenever you find them, will have whatever it is that you need. And if you have been somehow watching me already, welcome back. If you're new to me and there are millions of other people that you could be watching, I just want to thank you for taking a moment out to watch this reading. And even though I am offering my gift and energy to you, I'm thanking you for your attention, because where attention goes, energy flows. And right now, attention is expensive. Let me tell you, and everybody wants attention. Everybody. Everything is trying to get our attention constantly. So we're going to get straight into the reading because I don't like to waste time. All right. Sometimes messages come through. Sometimes it could be from spirit guides or people that have passed on, or even your higher I divine self. I will transmit those messages to you if they come through. I do feel somebody's grandfather lingering. Whether you were close or it was always something you wish you would have had the experience of being close to a grandfather, just know that I feel this grandfather energy stepping into this reading. The very first card that I pull is Cocoxanite. And Cocoxanite represents a new beginning. Okay? So this makes me feel like you've been stuck in a cycle and you have noticed these patterns of this cycle and they have been repeating over and over again. But I gotta be honest and tell you, like, that new beginning, what's keeping it from happening is you haven't updated your routines. So daily routines are rituals. Anything that is a routine is a ritual. However, when you bring intention into the routine, then it becomes a ritual. And when you use your intention and you repetitively repeat a routine, you create a rhythm. And as you create that rhythm starts to create an algorithm. And that algorithm starts to shape your reality. So I feel like maybe you're somebody who is really good at beginning things, but doesn't see things to the end. Okay? So whatever it is for you, you could be ADHD. That's something that I struggle with. So I begin things and don't always finish them. You could be a hypersensitive person and you're sensitive to energy. And so because of that, it's so many different energies coming in throughout the day, throughout the week, where it's difficult for you. Your intention is to complete something, but you don't get back to it, and it puts you in a cycle of feeling bad about the fact that here I am, a whole adult, and I can't even finish something. I can't even stay devoted to a task that I said I was going to devote myself to. This keeps you trapped in a cycle of self-flagellation, self-judgment, self-criticism, self-doubt. And what that does is that kind of eats away at your confidence, because you are a naturally confident person. The things that you know that you are good at, you're confident about those things and nobody could tell you different. However, there are these shadow areas where I see that you are really, really hard on yourself about this. So remember what I said. You need routines. Okay, especially in a new beginning, you need routines. You need routines that resonate with you to create a rhythm so that the algorithm will create a new reality as repetition of those routines, those rituals is repeated. Okay, here we go. R, 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 R. If you forget that, it's the R team. All right, this is what's going to bring in that new beginning for you. So instead of trying to do everything that you see pop up on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, let me give you a few things, because I do feel that you are highly empathic. You are a hypersensitive person. And because of that, people come to you with issues and they bring, their issues to you. Intention, is just probably to get it out or hoping you would give some advice, like you're good at these things. However, if that is starting to drain you, this is the time now for you to start creating some boundaries. So some of the ways that I create boundaries, I I don't know, maybe I'll do a boundary guidebook. I'm already working on one that I'm just getting ready to release called And an Energetic Fuckery. Maybe that's going to be for you because there's so much in there, but I'm channeling right now. So I'm going to channel what I am being told to share with you. So number one, I use rose water. A lot of people use Florida water in the spiritual community, but I use rose water specifically because rose is a very feminine energy. So feminine energy is very protective. Feminine energy is the energy in which all of us were created to get here. It is the energy that held us, nurtured us until we were able to become human beings and come into this life. That's just one of the reasons that I use rose, okay? But the essence and frequency of rose is very high. So get you some, you can make you some, whatever. Spray it around your head, your crown chakra. Speak an affirmation to protect your mind. If in human design you happen to have an open crown chakra, undefined crown chakra, right? If that's the case, it's really easy for your mind to be impacted by other things outside of you and other energies. So that's one simple thing that you could do in this new beginning, and do it every day. It's super simple, it's quick, it's not expensive, and then it's not overwhelming. It's not time consuming, but it's very effective. The next thing, I'm burning bentonite right now in the background. I wish, you remember the scratch and sniff, like the TV stuff back in the day? I'm a Gen X kid. Like, I was obsessed with the whole scratch and sniff thing. Wanted to be able to scratch and smell it. But if you could, just imagine. Use them, all them psychic abilities you got that you tapping into. If you could smell my home, like the smell of my home regulates the nervous system and it removes the day. And I've used so many things, but I'm telling you, if you use the resin that I use, you are going to notice a difference the very first time you burn it, okay? And benzoin resin has over 50 benefits that I have experienced personally, but so much more than that. So if you're healing trauma, if you're healing your nervous system, if you are sensitive to energy, if you do need to be able to smoke the day off of you, okay? Like, the spiritual baths and showers is great, but sometimes we don't always have time to really invest into that, and that's okay. So you could use this resin, and this resin will, like, the smell is not just aromatherapy, but resin is basically the blood of trees. And trees, if you look at humans, our lungs, if you look at the neurology of our brain, all throughout our body, the nervous system, the way it looks like stems, roots, and branches throughout the entire body, we are like really close cousins to trees, basically. And trees have an ancient wisdom that has been untapped. So you're not just tapping into the element of fire because of the heat, the element of air, but the element of wood is also in the mix of this. And so when you combine those elements together, you create a very nourishing, healing atmosphere. And I can tell you, I have some things going on in my life to where in the past, I wouldn't be able to focus and be a pure, clear channel of love frequency with accuracy and the things that I'm picking up on energetically like this, because of the things happening in my life in the background. I would be so thrown off. And it's because of these things that I'm grounded and I'm able to operate the way that I am. So yes, those are two things that you can do. I could just keep going, but I'm gonna stop there because Spirit is telling me to move on to the next thing. However, I'll put a link in the description to my website, and you can grab some of that on my website. All right. The next card is fluorite. Fluorite represents learning. Now notice this green color as well. Fluorite can come in other colors, but this one is green. So I feel like you're learning the language of your heart. You're somebody who took a chance with someone, a project, a career, something, but you took a chance and you put all of your heart in it, and it felt like it was not beneficial for you. Maybe even led to you being disappointed and let down. And when that happened to you, you was just like, you know what? Like, I don't know if you remember saying this, but she was like, I will never let myself be in this position again. I will never let this happen to me again. Now, let me tell you something. When we are emotionally charged and we speak words out into the atmosphere, those two things combined are very powerful. And what that does is it sends a signal throughout your entire nervous system that says, this is not okay. It's not conditional. It's not going to abide by some type of flexibility where if in the future opening your heart is going to be beneficial for you. It's always a risk when we open our heart. It's always a risk when we take a chance and trust. It's always a risk. Love requires risk. Trust requires risk, right? But you want to be strategic in those risks. You don't want to just completely shut them down, because you may be shutting out something that's supposed to be a part of this new beginning that you're actually calling in. But this pact, this vow that you made when you were hurt, when you were so emotionally charged, it like literally reprogrammed your entire morphogenic auric field. Your quantum self received this program, and it's like a firewall, and it's blocking out some of the things that you really do deserve. Like, you have been through so much to where I can say to you, you fucking deserve what it is that you want. You do. But you're learning how to speak the language of your heart. You're learning how to hear your heart speak, because you stopped listening to your heart. You was just like, it's just logic and reason for me. And if it don't make sense to my mind, I'm not doing it. And that's how we were trained in school. So we have been indoctrinated to think this way. So if you're told to like listen to your intuition, your heart, it's not going to make any sense to you. It is not going to compute in your mind. And your heart and mind aren't working together. Your heart and mind has been in a civil war with each other. And so that keeps you tired, because the heart is really wanting, desiring, ready for, wanting to take these risks, wanting to open up again. But the mind is like, no, no. You remember that pact that you took? No, we're not doing that. You remember that pact that you took? You remember how bad you got hurt? We're not doing that. Your ego and your inner child, that part of you that is wounded, is like, no, I'm not taking no chance in doing that. I did that before, and look where they got me. I'm not doing that. Okay? So this is the time now, labradorite, for you to take action. For you to take action. Whether that means you go ahead and start purchasing you a spiritual toolkit to put together. And I'm going to tell you, because I deal with anxiety and depression, spirituality, alongside of therapy and all the other things that I have done, the ceremonies, a lot of the stuff that's in the vault on my Patreon that I teach, they all really work really well together. But you have to have a toolkit. Think about the whole doomsday prepper thing, right? And doomsday preppers, they gather things, they collect things, they invest in and purchase things that may or may not be used before it expires. Like whatever it is, it could be the food or whatever. But they have it because in case it is needed, it's there. Are you moving that way throughout your life? Do you have what you need in case you need more than what you've been doing from day to day? I'm talking about having your blanket. I'm talking about having your cozy clothes, things that feel good to your body. I'm talking about having let me tell you, I am drinking lemon balm and valerian root. And I make that at night, and I take that. Those have a lot of benefits. I'm not a medical practitioner. You can look up the benefits of this and also any contraindications and run it past your physician. Whatever it is that you do your process, okay? Do your due diligence. But because of the difficulty sleeping, the difficulty turning my mind off, the difficulty relaxing, and I am healing my nervous system right now. And I'm going through some things in life that are really challenging right now. And I want to show up in a way where I'm proud of myself. So part of my toolkit, my Thrival toolkit, are these teas, are these herbal mocktails. Sometimes I make it as a tea, sometimes I make it as a mocktail. Put me some blueberries in there, just sprinkle it up, spice it up a little bit. Might put me a little cayenne pepper in there if I'm feeling like I need a little heat to get things moving. When you think about herbs, it's not just the medicinal benefits, but the spiritual benefits as well. And so by using these things, I am also helping myself to be grounded, because anytime you put anything that comes from a root and comes from Mama Earth into the body, it helps the cohesiveness between your nervous system and the Schumann resonance, which is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Okay, so that's just a little bit of my toolkit. My entire life is a toolkit at this point. Like, I'm not sparing any expenses. I'm willing to do whatever it is it takes to take care of myself, because I want my inner child inside of me, who I know what she went through. But am I acting like I know? Am I showing up every day like I know? Am I doing for her like I know? Am I willing to invest the time, the money, and the energy that it takes to be the person that I say that I want to be? Because if I am, and if I'm creating micro goals and taking baby steps one day at a time, moving in that direction, I'm going to feel more confident. And I'm going to feel less like I'm failing because I don't complete things, right? Because I haven't accomplished what I feel like I should have accomplished by now. All of these things, like, we are so hard on ourselves sometimes. So good. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you knew the herbs and roots and stuff, it might take a little getting used to with the flavor, but you can work with it and figure out a way to make it work for you. That's the beauty of magic, and that's the beauty of working with herbal medicines and those elemental energies within the herbs. That's the beauty of that, and it's so helpful. So where are we going next? Let's see. Let's go to Isis next. What y'all got going on? What's been going on with y'all? Where my untamed sister Coven at? Like, I see y'all. Y'all been getting on that membership. Like, y'all is not playing. Y'all like, look, it's gonna be another new year coming in. Like, I'm not gonna play. I'm taking some action. You know what I'm saying? I'm about that action, and I'm so here for it. I love it. When you start doing that for you, stuff in your life really will start to settle. Yeah, you're gonna have some rocky spots. I mean, that's what we're here to experience. I'm a firm believer that, and this is a lot to unpack, and so I'm not gonna unpack all of this here now, but I will say this: the souls who go through some of the most challenges and go through things that other people don't go through are usually some of the most courageous souls. We may not remember the courage that we had when we signed our soul contract before we incarnated here in this lifetime, but that's proof of that. Challenges in life isn't proof of how weak you are or how wounded you are. It's not proof that you're a sinner. It's not proof that you don't deserve anything better. It's proof that you signed up for the advanced classes, okay? That's because you're an advanced soul. I don't know about y'all, but I just ate that whole plate, honey. That, I think I needed to hear that one. So don't you forget that. When shit start popping off and start happening, I want you to remind yourself, hold up. These them AP classes. Okay, I may not fully remember, but it did resonate with my soul. That pop quiz test. Like that's a part of this process. And if I wasn't equipped to be able to give my best and do what I'm here to do, I wouldn't be experiencing this. I would be experiencing something less. And so in this moment, I'm going to trust the process, give my best, and anything that's left, I'm going to give it to divine and trust that it's going to work out. Like, this is the conversation. Do you talk to yourself like this? Because if you don't, let that be a part of your new beginning. Okay, your self-talk by itself will nurture you, protect you, hold you, support you, encourage you, and help you become a better version of you. It's not what other people say to us or about us. And people have a tendency to talk really nasty about people who have golden hearts. That's just this world. It's not personal. And I do feel like you're somebody who has been dealing with that. I don't know if gossip at work or in a friend group or family, but people do be having some shit to say. You know, they be having some shit to say. But that's all right, because you're being protected at all times. Look at that. Look at that. Now I want you to notice, I want you to notice the fire. Look at that fire. And it's emanating from behind the capstone that has the Eye of Horus on it. Now, when I realized that I was somebody that people talked about a lot, not always in the best way, talismans was a huge part of me creating my spiritual hygiene and psychic protection to protect my energy field, my mind, my body, my spirit, because I am a sensitive being. I'm a hypersensitive person, a highly sensitive person. I'm hypervigilant. I'm super intuitive. I grew up in dysfunction and trauma, so I'm highly attuned to any little small change in frequency, temperaments, moods, tones. I pick up on it and I notice. And sometimes I can pick up on things that people refuse to acknowledge or admit to within themselves. And it used to make me feel crazy until I realized it's okay. My third eye is open. I see this for what it is. I don't need them to acknowledge it. I don't need them to speak about me in a kinder way. I don't need them to change. I will make sure that I take care of me. I'm going to make sure that I do what's necessary to protect myself, to protect my mental health, right? Because health is wealth, all right? So this is the pyramid of light psychic protection. As a being of light, darker energies may at times seek to interfere with your spiritual progress. There is nothing to fear, only more awareness of the power and protection of divine love to experience. The pyramid of light confirms that energies have been causing interference with your path, and it is now time for that interference to cease completely through loving divine power. I told you, you've been dealing with some interference, but don't get stuck there. It's so easy for us to get stuck, especially when it's somebody that you love and you care for, or somebody that you've ever been there for or helped. Ain't it easy to just like repeat over and over in your mind like the situation? And you're really not even trying to. And sometimes you could be trying to get your mind off of it and think about something else, and that thought will just pop in. Sometimes whoever's on the other end of that if they start talking about us, sometimes it will interfere with our present moment, especially depending on how your energetic anatomy, your experiences, and your routines. What does your spiritual hygiene look like? Okay. To smell good, to be clean physically, to take care of your body, those things are important. But if your spiritual hygiene doesn't look anything like your physical hygiene, you're out here operating as a NPC when in reality, you're a divine fucking being that's here to do spiritual warfare. So you're standing on the battlefield thinking that your role is something other than what it is, and you're not protected in that moment. It's not because you don't have divine protection. It's not because you don't have spirit guides. It's not because you don't have a higher I divine self, because you do. But when we allow ourselves to embody our wounding instead of learning and practicing how to embody our higher potential, we become collateral damage on the battlefield. Fuck that. We ain't doing that no more. That stops right now. I'm not being collateral damage on the battlefield anymore. I'm going to make sure that my psychic hygiene match or supersedes my spiritual hygiene. If you're brushing your teeth every day, be burning your benzoin every day. If you're washing your face every day, make sure that you're using your rose water or your Palo Santo or your sage every day. You know, sprinkle some salt in your doorway so that people coming in and out of your house, energy will be purified as they're coming in and out of your house. Salt is very purifying. Salt also absorbs energy, right? There are so many things that you could do to start creating an atmosphere around you to support you. And then the new beginning can do what it is here to do. And here I am turning into Dr. Seuss. All right. I'm going to move on. Guys. All right, Spirit, come through. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. I do. I mean that. I mean that. Sometimes the people with the biggest hearts, we get hurt so bad because we haven't learned to discern who has earned our heart being open, right? You're going through that learning process, that discerning process, that heart open process, learning how to trust your heart again. Yeah. Everybody haven't earned that. But I do feel like it's something or someone either in your life or coming into your life, and you feel that opening wanting to happen, but you've been afraid to let it happen. Oh, it's so exhausting. I'm somebody who has connected with people that are very well known, like in the spiritual community. And it seems like we're going to do a great collaboration together, and it just dissipates over time. I'm like, what happened? And it hurts, and I'm disappointed. And I open my heart again and again and again. However, I did create protocols for access to my heart, because this heart is not like any other. My heart is so big, so full of love, so courageous, so unafraid to open up, to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to listen to people, to give, even if I don't have that much myself. Shit. I'm rare. It's rare that you find somebody like you. You rare, okay? So make sure that you show up for yourself and act like that you care. And don't let people take you there. I swear. Fuck that shit. I clear. This is a new beginning. This is what we doing. This is your new dare. Look at that. The Wheel of Fortune. Mm-hmm. See what I'm talking about? Let me tell you something. The energy that's coming in right now, a lot of people who have been destined for like greater things, and a lot of people who know like, I want to be able to experience something better than what I'm experiencing now. I don't quite know how to get there, but I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to believe that things are working out for me, right? I want to be able to believe that somehow fortune is on my side, right? It's healing the heart, but also going back to protecting yourself, right? The combination of those two things is what allows the wheel of fortune to spin. A wheel of fortune. That means that you're going to go through cycles of endings and beginnings. But as soon as something ends, something else doesn't begin. It's usually a buffer period in between the two. It's like sliding doors, and you're walking down a hallway, and through each door is another experience for you. And you come out of one experience, you close the door, and you're like, okay, that chapter of my life, I'm done with that, that's over, it ended. What's next? And you're just kind of standing in this hallway with all of these doors, and you don't know which door to open. And you're kind of waiting on the door to just open and summon you, but you're not in the era. You're in the era of making choices. You're in the era of choosing, using your free will. But the will only moves in favor for the language of the heart. So what is your heart telling you? I know it don't make sense. I know it might not make sense. I have had my heart want some things and want me to experience things that I was really afraid to, because it didn't make sense to me. Afraid to try something new. There was a period of my life where I wanted to try valerian root, and I was afraid of it. I wanted to try blue lotus, and I was afraid of it. It wasn't approved by that 3-letter agency, and I was like, I don't know. It hasn't been pre-approved by them people. And, I was still in the beginning stages of my awakening. And so it was hard for me to trust things that I had not experienced before. But fortune started to open up for me when I started to make choices. And I kind of just started to say, all right, fuck it. I'm going to buy a vow. Shit. I'm going to buy a vow. And the word that was there that needed that vowel, the vowel is an E. And that word is a yes. And I'm going to say yes to this experience. All right. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. And the very first time I started doing this, I even started to have doctors tell me, you shouldn't do that because that's not approved by the 3-letter agency. And that made me nervous. And I was like, shit. I finally made up my mind to agree with my heart to say yes. And now being told, like, I know people who have been, have lost their life because of some herb that they were taking. I mean, so much negative stuff was coming. And I was like, what is this? So usually when a wheel of fortune presents itself, it may not be healing your body. It could be something completely different. But usually when it presents itself, you also have like a lot of evidence to start presenting itself to prove otherwise. That's how you know, honey. That's how you know right there. Because you just like, I wouldn't be getting all this pushback and this resistance unless this was going to help me. Okay? Unless this was going to at least teach me something. Right? So you don't have to push against the flow so hard. This is more so about you surrendering right now and trusting in divine timing. I just had this conversation with one of my sisters. We were messaging each other, and I really, there's a certain frequency that I It's a certain frequency I choose to be in when I do one-on-ones. And if I'm not there, I don't do it. And I will, communicate and say, hey, let's schedule based on these things. And these are the things, because I want to deliver in a particular frequency, in a particular way. And she was just so trusting of divine time. And it really felt really aligned and felt really good to me to experience that. But you can't experience something outside of you that you're not experiencing inside of you. So are you trusting divine timing, or are you trying to go against the flow, force stuff to happen, make stuff happen, being impatient, being impulsive, trying to rush through things? If that's the energy that you in, that is a frequency of desperation and distrust. And desperation and distrust breeds disappointment. Breeds is the key word. Okay? Like little gremlins. You remember how the gremlins get water on them? And then they back start bubbling up. And just more start popping out? It's been like that. It's been like that. And it's like, no, I don't want to make any more gremlins. Right? So, change the way that you breed. Change the way that you co-create with reality. Okay? I don't know, a whole lot of Gen X stuff been coming through. What is really going on? Alright? What is going on? So we're going to get into some self-care. We kind of talked about that a little bit already. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Okay? But get into some self-care. Because how you take care of your altar, your temple, which is your body, that's your first home, and that's your last home before you leave here. It matters. It matters a lot. I'm just gonna let you see the image. Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la. Somebody is needing some happiness, huh? Somebody is needing some oxytocin. It says developing your happy place is a wonderful way to promote ease, safety, and calm. It also retrains your vibrational set point to a higher frequency. This takes repetition. Didn't we just talk about that? But it is absolutely worth it. So your self-care practice is to choose your happy place setting. Imagine somewhere where you feel relaxed and at ease. Allow your mind to wander to your happy place. See yourself there. Visualize the colors, the smells, the noises. Feel the emotions that you want to feel there. See yourself smiling. Visualization and imagineering is always more effective when you use all of your senses. Notice the calm and relaxation you are experiencing in this place. Are you smiling? Visit your happy place often to solidify the feelings. You can revisit your happy place at any time. This will be your safe haven. And here are the questions to ask yourself to help you to embody this, meaning to not just hear me say this, but to actually start using this on repetition. But how do I use my imagination? That's one question. Do I use all of my senses to protect myself? Or do I use all of my senses when I use my imagination to project myself? Do I practice my future self feelings in advance to retrain my emotional set point? So these are things that I do. So I will practice feeling how my future self is going to feel before I get there. so that I can train my nervous system and my mind to be more receptive to this energy of happiness that I don't always feel. Happiness is not something that you just wait to sneak up on you. It can creep up on you, but you want to know how to create happiness. Learning how to create happiness leads to a happier life versus just hoping things happen to make you happy. All right? Because a lot of us do that. We just hope something happens today that'll make me happy. We just hope something happens that'll make us laugh. But like you can set that tone for yourself. This is something that I call ambiance. It's the combination of the word om and ambiance. So om is the sound of creation. Ambiance is an environmental temperature, environmental climate, right? A safe place. And so when you are creating a safe place for yourself, you can use music in the background, high vibrational music, meditation music, using all of your senses. We literally talked about this in the beginning of the reading. Y'all see how many times I shuffled this card. Using smell, right? The scent to help take you there. Using the rose water, right? To clear and help take you there. Practicing the future self feelings. Before I do these readings, I feel into how I want to feel. Or what is the intention that I'm hoping to offer? You know, if it's clarity and peace and calmness, and to create a resonance and people leave feeling more confident and feeling like, okay, I can get through the week now, and I do have some tips and some things that I can apply that are tactical and practical, but yet transformational, resonated with me. So I feel what that feels like before I get on here. And, you know, this is something that I do because I have a hard time getting up in the morning. So at night, I complete everything. I determine how I want to feel the next day. I determine what activities are going to be my rituals to begin my day, to ease myself into feeling how I want to feel, right? And once I got it solidified and planned at night, I have a whole like nighttime ritual thing that I do, subconscious reprogramming, using water for reprogramming, sometimes using sigils, sometimes using my talismans, sometimes using my crystals, sometimes using my aromatherapy, using my teas, using my magnesium spray on the bottom of my feet, taking a magnesium supplement to help relax the nervous system, speaking to myself in like this beautiful way. Like last night I was like, okay, let's get creative. Like, how can I talk to myself tonight? You know, what is it that I would love to be hearing right now? And it was just like, baby, like, damn, today was rough, but you slid right through the day. Like everything that got through your way and through at you, you found a way to make it okay. Like, girl, like, girl, you ate. Yes, you did. I just want to let you know that I'm proud of you. And I know it took a lot out of you. And I know how much you don't like to cry. Because that inner gangster in you be like, I don't want to be crying. I'm the OG. You know what I'm saying? 901 Memphis, Tennessee, Council of Untamed Oracle. I already know what it is. That's who I am. All that right there. I get it. Okay. I acknowledge the gangster in you. But I also acknowledge the softness in you. And today was not a loss. You didn't do anything wrong because you broke down and cried today. You released that energy from you. Tears literally release cortisol from your system. You did what you needed to do to control, alt, delete the motherfucking day. Okay, you deserve the rest right now. You deserve this rest. And this is how I have to talk to myself because I've been trained to always be in go mode, to always be on, to always be productive, to always be doing something for others, to anticipate other people's needs before they even make them known to me, to already have something in motion to get it done. Just perfectionism, like it's beyond perfectionism. I mean, is it another word for perfectionism? shit, I mean, mega perfectionism, you know, and I don't allow myself. And so I'm retraining, I'm learning, I'm teaching myself. Every day is a new beginning for me, right? And so talking to yourself as you are falling asleep, this is when you're in a hypnagogic state. I'm country. It's probably hypnagogic. Okay. But hypnagogic state. And this is just a state of mind where you become more spongy on a neuroplasticity level because of the frequency brain waves of the mind as we're laying down and getting ready to go into at least trying to sleep. Because I know a lot of us spiritually activated people, our sleep is kind of crazy. Our circadian rhythm do not be doing what everybody else say it ought to be doing. Okay. But as you're easing yourself into that state to drift off into sleep, your subconscious mind is easier to program. This is why you want to make sure that you plan out your next day, see what you're grateful for and thankful for throughout the day, what you're proud of. Talk that beautiful shit to yourself. Make love to yourself, you know. Girl, I'm loving on you. Or, man, you did that today. Okay, whatever it is, whoever you are, whatever resonates, you know, and doing those things, it sets you up to go into the astral realm and activate more healing. And so I do a lot of healing in the astral realm, like with a lot of people, with a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all dream about me, and I dream about y'all too, you know. And so actually, I just had a dream recently about us talking, and we realized we was underwater, but we was breathing just fine. Anyway, yeah, that's in the other video that I posted, I think yesterday. Just go back and watch it. I think I had green on, army green on in that video. But anyway, but yes, do this before you go to sleep. Rituals, routines, creates rhythm, creates your algorithm, creates your reality. Okay? Like our team is gonna do what it do. That's your happy place. That's your happy place. My goal is for wherever I am to be a happy place. And shit don't always be happening to make me feel happy. So, you know, you allow yourself to feel what you feel. You have a right to feel your feelings, but you also have a right to shift yourself out of those spaces if that space don't feel beneficial to you anymore. And so you can make time to grieve and be like, okay, after the 10 minutes, I'm going to shift into something else. I'm going to shift into relaxation instead of grieving. You know, I'm going to do my somatic exorcism. For those of you who are members, you have access to the Lilith Kali Truth Spell, which is really good for people who are drawn to shadow work because it blows your subconscious mind wide open. Oh, honey, just make sure you really want the truth, okay? You just really want me to pull you, don't you? Okay. All right, I felt you. But just make sure you really want the truth. All right. If you already a member and you use that, just make sure that you really want the truth. Because let me tell you, the truth is a mass destabilizer to someone who is not investing in self-love. You must love without truth is mass destabilization. You must make sure that your self-love routine is going to support you to live in truth. And honestly, a lot of us, you know, okay, that's another video for another time. I'm not even going to do that right now. I'm not going to do that. But I will say this. A lot of us manifest relationships where radical honesty is not yet welcomed and supported because our nervous system hasn't healed enough to support that. But our heart is wanting us to move into more honesty. Okay, I got it out. I said it. That's a whole video in itself. That's a whole series. Shit, that might turn into a whole nother online course or a book, to be honest with you, because it's a lot to unpack in that. Okay? But I want you to know that starting with yourself, starting with radical honesty with yourself is the best way to approach more truth. Just make sure that your self-love routine is going to support that truth, because it's like building a skyscraper, but the foundation wasn't laid correctly. And the higher you go, the more unstable things are going to get. And all it'll take is some wind to come and blow your ass down, you know? And you're just like, the wolf came and blew the house down. Okay, you know, go back, begin again, and create the foundation with yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Create the foundation with yourself first. So the card that I pulled is Gari Devi. Ain't she beautiful? So gorgeous. You know, beautiful has changed for me over the years. Beautiful, when I see scary fierceness, I see beauty. It wasn't like that in the beginning. In the beginning, when I was first coming out of religion, I was like, oh, hold up now. Hold up now. Like, hold up. She looking a little devious. So let me tell you about Gari Devi. She is a champion of the sweet souls with fierce hearts who are underestimated and passed over. She who is gentle as the deer and ruthless as the lioness, who is the capacity within the awakened heart to rise, to overcome obstacles, to have faith without any evidence of victory. Did you hear that? To have faith without any evidence of victory. This is the journey that you are on. And to rally the spirit until the right moment to act and win is felt. Not thought, but felt. She is non-conformity and the freedom to be one's true self. Recognize your own beauty and value, irrespective of whether another has the capacity to behold it. At this time, you shall shine. The divine feminine is often misunderstood. She is stereotyped as weak and passive, and therefore underestimated or dismissed, or as devouring, castrating, so she is feared or spurned. Yet she is not one thing or the other. She is the wisdom of what is needed. Gari is the secret softness and the light that is part of Kali. We could call her Kali's bright shadow. Gari is domesticity and accessibility, where Kali is wildness and mystery. Gari is bejeweled with gems, Kali with skulls. Gari is dressed beautifully in sumptuous attire. Kali is naked, smeared in ash and blood. Gari shows how to operate within social systems, whilst Kali rejects and disrupts social conditioning. Gari creates harmony and connection, whilst Kali is autonomous and independent. Gari is culture, whilst Kali is untamed. Gari gives and Kali takes away. Both work toward the same purpose of protecting and empowering the soul by whatever method will work at that moment. Both are manifestations of the one feminine divinity. One story holds that Kali went to the river to wash and she emerged fair as Gari. Soon after, a demon lurked nearby. Her dark skin reemerged, and that was the end of the demon. One lesson from this story is that our fierceness is always within us. We can trust in that and relax into our gentler and more easygoing side. Fierceness in the context of Kali is fierce wisdom. We do not need to cultivate an inherently violent way of being, but rather allow fierce wisdom to spontaneously arise when needed. This story also shows us that there are times to embrace the darkness and times to shed it. We can move into a higher, lighter mood as a way of growth and healing, knowing the dark wildness is within when needed to overcome a potential obstacle. It will destroy what threatens to compromise your light, and then it can be at rest once more. This is not something we have to contrive. Instead, we can practice allowing for our instinctive wisdom to guide us. In another story, a terrible demon attacked a royal city. None of the power local men could defeat it, and great concern arose among the local people. It was said that only a virgin woman could have the power to conquer this energy. None of the women could manage it until the responsible, kind, noble, and courageous goddess Sita stepped forward. She transformed herself into Kali and destroyed the demon as she were snapping a branch. She was so intimidating in her awesome power. It is said her powerful husband, the magnificent god Rama, begged her to return to her domesticated form. She obligingly did, donning her beautiful clothing and neat hair once more. Yet beneath that kind mantle of a civilized and cultured woman is sufficient divine power and ferocity to be a complete badass when needs be. There are times to allow and others to set clear boundaries. All can be an act of love. It is loving to communicate in a way others can understand. Some cannot understand gentleness and require different language to know your boundaries and your need for respect. There is a story from the Hindu saint devoted to Kali, Sri Ramakrishna. He speaks of a snake who was terrifying the villagers, biting and killing them with his venom. One day a sage encountered the snake in the field and taught him about compassion. The snake no longer attacked the villagers, and they no longer feared the snake as a consequence. One day the traveling sage returned to the village only to find that it had been severely injured following an attack by some local boys. With compassion for the snake, the sage taught him that just because he no longer wanted to bite the villagers didn't mean that he couldn't hiss. He had swung too far from Kali towards Gauri. He needed to find a way to accomplish his purpose with compassion, but with wisdom too. When Gauri Deva arises in a reading, you are asked to check your boundaries and tune in to your capacity to hiss, to realize you are entitled to be kind, but also to be respected. If you have seen yourself as a badass, it is time to embrace your softer side. If you have been soft and doubted your ability to stand up for yourself, you have simply forgotten that you are also Kali. Play with the balance, with what resonates, and know that if you allow for it, the divine will spontaneously arise from within and in whatever form shall accomplish the task. Take responsibility for the consequences of your actions while trusting in her methods that flow through you. That's so beautiful. I resonate with this so much because I swung too much to conformity, and I became someone who never wanted to hiss, right? I never wanted to rock to boat. I never wanted to create the painful experiences that I experienced. And so I became someone who was encoded deeply on a subconscious level with codependency. So I became a martyr, and I would sacrifice my own needs for the needs of others. And that's okay at some point. I mean, we make compromises for our children, right? Sometimes we make compromises for our partner. But having balance between those things is so important. And for a lot of women, and my content, my heart really resonates with the feminine so much at this time, to speak to the feminine and to be able to know that you are both light and dark, and both have a place, both are sacred and divine, and both have a reason to exist. It is from the dark in which light was created, right? So Gauri representing the light, representing the domesticated kind, yes, baby, so, like, yes, baby, what do you need? I got you. But sometimes when your boundaries have not been expressed, or been expressed and not respected, like, what do you do with that? What do you do when somebody just blows straight through a boundary? And you know how much energy it took to even create the boundary in the first place. Well, in my book, Ending Energetic Fuckery, I talk about that. I go deep into that. And I give you protocols from the dark goddesses that I downloaded directly from them and practiced and used for years and years and years, and journaled and paid attention to the outcome. So much work went into creating that, right? And it was the experience. And, reading the book Codependency No More, listening to Lisa Romano talk about her journey, and so many others that were really influential for me and inspired me to continue my journey. But my journey is a little different because it includes the goddess, it includes the archetypal energy of being able to shift your mindset, to be able to shift your frequency and the way that you interact with your external world for a specific outcome, to be a specific person. So, if this is something that resonates with you, like, I will put the link for that book in the description. I'm not like actually launching that into a few days from now, but depending on when you see this reading, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in there. It's so beautiful. It's not gonna take you forever to read. It's practical. It's easy, simple stuff that you could apply day to day. And I feel like so many women are dealing with health issues. We're feeling burnt out, chronic fatigue. Like, a lot of us slowly exhaust ourselves to an early grave. And you can almost feel that if I continue moving this way, I don't know how many more years, how many more decades my mind and my body is going to hold up. You can feel that. You can feel that. And the real epidemic right now is the damage that the patriarchy did to the masculine and the feminine. Because a lot of us, our masculine is overworked, our feminine is under-nurtured. And guess what? If that's the energy that you in and you have not really went deep enough into recalibrating that, then what you attract outside of you is usually going to mirror that back to you. So, my approach, my philosophy about relationships, partnerships, collaborations, businesses, all of that is based on these premises. So if that's resonating with you, like, get that, because a lot of us we might be really good at this at home in a relationship, but not good at this when we're at work or in the boardroom or with our career, whatever it is that we do. And sometimes you will find yourself trying to be soft in a situation that's calling for your fierceness. And it's just like, no, you're not going to speak to me that way. I'm going to speak to you with respect, and you're going to speak to me with respect. And if we both cannot do that, then this conversation is going to end until we can do that. Whole different frequency. Like, when I shift into her, I used to feel bad about that. And later I would think about it and be like, dang, did I really have to, did I really have to do all that? That's my hiss. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, no, I'm not going to let you disrespect me, or I'm going to hiss if I feel a diss. That's just what it is. Sis. But working with the dark feminine archetypes went deeper for me than a lot of the information that I was getting, and phenomenal, great stuff. But I truly believe that. I truly believe that this is what we're being called to heal right now. And this is the true epidemic. And the autoimmune disease, the pain, the chronic fatigue, the burnout, the tiredness, the brain fog, the perimenopause. It's so much. It's so much. So here's a prayer. Beloved Kali Ma and Gari Devi, you are dark night and bright day. You are wisdom and compassion. I quiet my mind to dispense with conditioned responses and tune in to the authenticity of your presence that's within my heart. I feel for your instinctive, spontaneous arising. I trust in your method and your greater guiding purpose, which benefits all beings. Jama Kali, Jama Gari Devi, Jama. And you can place your hands in prayer at your heart. And you can begin to visualize like this swirling interplay of fierce, dark night energy and clear, serene day energy. And this light and this dark is dancing. I like to visualize gold and black energies dancing. That's what works for me. but use what works for you. And these energies, they support each other. They rise and they fall as needed, like the sun and the moon, bringing day and the moon showing up for night. They are completely instinctive and trustworthy. And now you can sense the presence of the mother of light within the day and the mother of darkness within the night. And sense how you are empowered and spiritually protected in all ways. Allow that feeling of inner security and spiritual love to shine from your heart in all directions, through all dimensions, for the spiritual benefit of all beings. And when you are ready, take in a deep breath to honor Gari and exhale fully to honor Kali. And you have completed your ritual of visualization. So this reading was I don't know about you, but it felt real good to me to allow this to come through me. And I don't feel like this is conversation that you get every day. Notice how you feel now versus how you felt when you first clicked on this video. And let me know in the comments, did anything that I say resonate and speak with you? You know, how are you feeling? I believe that a paradigm shift is upon us. And I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in divine timing. And this message throughout, I don't even know what to name this, but I feel like we just laid a foundation for your new beginning to build on. And I just want to thank you for being you, for saying yes to this journey, and for allowing me to be a part of it. I'm going to put the link to my membership only with the exclusives that I will continue to promote and build. The ending energetic fuckery. So much deeper than just people pleasing, survival mode, codependency, fawning, overextending ourselves, giving more than we have to give, giving from an empty cup. I needed to go deeper than that. All of those things, like, they're important. But I was like, what's under the surface of this? And honey, I dug into that Scorpio moon and went up under that surface, baby. And let me tell you, I did some deep diving. Okay. And I also worked one-on-one with thousands of people. So when I put these things in a container like this, it comes from experience of myself and the collective of other souls, and downloading wisdom from the Akashic records, guidance from the goddesses. And that's such a rare thing. And I believe that this will help guide people long after I'm physically no longer here. And I'm really proud of being able to create that space. And if you really want to go deeper, you can join the membership and you will get a discount on the book. So you can choose either one. And you can even get the book now and get the membership later. You know, there's no wrong way. Just do what resonates with you. Because again, you're learning how to listen to the language of your heart. All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah. Higher, I take you higher. Yeah. I got this sacred